Welcome to Carlton's Math Corner. Today we're going to continue our study on powers and exponents. To begin, here's something to put a smile on your face, and you take out your vocabulary packet as well as your journal. Now, we've been talking about how to write a product of powers, as well as to go the other direction and to write it in exponential form. And all of these numbers that we've been working with have been included in that umbrella of rational numbers. And we're going to continue that with rational numbers. We're going to evaluate, though, today expressions containing exponents. And we need to talk about what evaluate means, and we need to refresh our memories on what an expression is. And so let's start off with evaluate. And I do want you to write these down in your vocab packet. Evaluate means to find the answer. And so we have not really found the answer in any of our problems. We've only written out either a power, or we've written out all of the factors multiplied together. Like there was no answer in the end. And so now we're going to actually find the answer. We're going to evaluate the expressions. And so if I want to evaluate, 4 to the third power, I could write out 3 4s and multiply them together. So I can actually take 4 times 4 is 16, then times 4 again is 64. And I just evaluated that expression. Now remember, an expression is kind of like just a math sentence. And it's just like when you read a book, you have letters that make up words, which make up sentences. Well, just like math. Math, you have numbers, and you also have operations, which are adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing. You have those that are put together to make up a math sentence. And so this is an expression, 4 times 4 times 4. That is an expression. And so, or we can call it a numerical expression because there are numbers in it. And so that's what the numerical part in front of it means. Okay? So today we're going to look at evaluating expressions. If I have 2 to the 5th power, I want you to notice, first of all, the steps that are happening. I want you to make some observations, and I want you to come up with, what's the first step? And we're going to title it A. What would be the first step? You are right. Write the product of factors. So it's basically doing one of our targets that we just learned. So we're going to write out the product of factors. And then what are we going to do? We're going to evaluate. We're going to find the answer. Okay? And so here are our 2 steps. And we're going to do that. So let's look at this one. This is, they wrote out the product of factors, 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. And then they went back and they evaluated it. They did 2 times 2 is 4. Then 4 times 2 is 8. Then 8 times 2 is 16. And 16 times 2 is 32. And that is our answer. We can actually use a calculator as well. And if I wanted to do, there's this little button on your calculator. Well, on some of your calculators, it looks like an upside down V. That works as an exponent key. And so if I wanted to do 2 to the 5th, I would do 2 caret 5, and I would then hit enter. Some of you may not have this calculator, and if you don't have a calculator, I actually recommend this calculator, TI-30X, because it is the calculator that's used on the MCAs. And so this is the one I want you to get familiar with it. If you don't have it and you already have a scientific calculator, that is fine, because your calculator is probably still pretty similar to this. If you don't have the caret key, some of you have this key, x to the y power, and that also is the same, it performs the same steps. And then you would hit enter. So you hit 2, then that key, and then 5, and then enter. And it will still give you an answer of 32. Okay, so let's do a problem. It says, hot dogs. The concession stand at the county fair sold, and I'm going to highlight this, 6 to the third power hot dogs on the first day. How many hot dogs did they sell? Well, first of all, our first step is to write this power out as product of factors. So let's write out, what would you write for 6 to the third? Yep, 6 times 6 times 6. Nice job. And then our second step is to evaluate. And so we're going to evaluate it. And 6 times 6 is 36. And then times 6 again is 216 hot dogs. Okay. And just to review multiplication, if I'm setting it up and I'm doing this by hand, I have 36 times 6. So I have 6 times 6 is 36. I keep the 6 because that's the ones place, but I put the 3 on top because that's the tens place, and there's 3 tens in 30. And so I keep the 3, and then I add it to this product. So 6 times 3 is 18, plus 3 is 21. So that's where the 21 came from, 216 hot dogs. How about these problems? What would you get for 8 to the third, 9 to the second, and 10 to the third? And you may use a calculator if you want, that's fine. But I do want you to just show your work steps. So product of factors should be written out first, and then you find your answer. Okay, so 8 times 8 times 8 is 512. I mean, look how fast these numbers, they grow so quickly because of exponents. 9 times 9, 81. And I really like this one. Those of you that recall using your hands for nines, if I have, here's my hand, and then here's my other hand, and okay, nines, basically if I do 9 times 9, whatever you're multiplying by, and let me get rid of that because you can't really see that. If I'm multiplying by 9, that means I put my 9th finger down. Okay, so that means I would put this one down because I would count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and I'd put this one down. And so if this one's down, then all I do is I count before it, my fingers before it, and my fingers after it. So I have how many fingers before? I have 8, and after it, I have 1. So I put it together, 81. That's my answer. Okay, same thing, 10 times 10 times 10. Nice way to do this one is multiply the ones together first. 1 times 1 times 1. And 1 times itself is just 1. So we keep the 1, and then all we do is count up the zeros. 1 0, 2 zeros, 3 zeros. So I put 3 zeros down, and my answer is 1,000. So for tomorrow, I would like for you to do these ticket problems, and you're going to evaluate these following expressions. Thank you so much for joining me at Carlton's Math Corner, and I look forward to meeting with you again to learn a new concept.